Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? This is Big Jonas. Whew. May 9th, 2019. It is Thursday night here, East Coast, US of A. It's been a couple weeks since we've spent some time together. Too much time separated. Too much incredible Bitcoin price action has happened, and God, there's so much to get into, so let's just get right into it. Remember, you guys can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Big Jonas. Give me a follow, give me a thumbs up, give me a follow on YouTube as well. Remember, hit that subscribe button. I'm also a featured contributor to bitcoin.live. You guys can find my affiliate link in the text of the YouTube. It's a great platform of great traders that put out content daily with alerts as well. And I definitely invite you guys to come on over and check it out. We'll also be at Consensus next week. Big week next week in Bitcoin price action. I wanted to take a quick look here at CoinMarketCap, where Bitcoin's dominance is at 58%, the highest it's been in months. Bitcoin crypto market cap, 188 billion, delicious. And Bitcoin, over $100 billion of crypto market cap once again, something that we broke through and then have now come above. And isn't that just the greatest thing here? Now, looking at the Bitcoin price action and look at the top 20 here, right? Look at the top 20 and we see the 7 days of Bitcoin in this very clean, steady rise here. Ethereum holding a higher low as well. But Ripple falling, Bitcoin Cash also holding these consecutive lower highs here, but higher lows right in a very tight pattern. Almost looks descending triangle-ish. Litecoin also holding the consecutive bottom here. So a lot of these higher coin market cap coins are holding up pretty well, even though they're not necessarily rising with Bitcoin's price action. But a lot of the other alts, when we get farther down, SV actually looks pretty good here, but everything else, I mean, it's just taking dumpers. You know, there's a couple outliers. Bitcoin Gold, Link has had a nice chart recently, but mostly all the alts are bearishly diverging. That's why we're actually seeing the Bitcoin dominance increasing. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. I'm on the daily chart. We closed another very bullish day here. You know, how do you argue with this candle here of support? How do you argue with the strength of back-to-back closing candles where we had a, intraday, we had a little dip yesterday, bought back up, and then continuation, highest point of 2019, give it to Bitcoin. Couple of things here daily. MA50 is our nearest term area of support, around $5,100. So we'll acknowledge we're above our parallel here. This rising line of resistance has moved almost. We basically had a very tight one here. We actually broke out of it yesterday with our close out of it yesterday. So the support now of that break of this line, is just a hair under 5K. Sorry, wow, I can't believe I said it. Under 6K. Whew, got to get used to that, right? And what we're going to be watching for is any pullback. What does the buying pressure represent? Because consistently, ever since we broke out on April 2nd here, every dip, and more importantly, and this is really important, every major FUD news event, and we've had a couple of them, over the past couple months here. We had a Bitfinex, Tether, New York State AG lawsuit event. Where was that? Where was that? That was somewhere in here. And then it just became a buying opportunity. And then we had the most recent, our Binance hack, which was 4 days ago. This guy right here ended up with this upper wick candle, but bullishly engulfing on the close. And just again, another opportunity through this move ever since our breakout, even really before that, to keep buying the dip, keep buying the dip. So we have this resistance turn support. We also have MA100 going up into the MA 200 here. Again, another bullish sign, because what we want to do on the daily is get these in the proper order. The 50, the 100, the 200, and we're like a day away from doing that on the daily chart. We achieved it on lower time frames, the 12-hour. This is our fanning out, our bullish fan out on lower time frames, right? But now on the daily, we're just getting there, which is just tremendous. It shows how strong Bitcoin is here. And then, it will take other higher time frames. The 2-day, there's our 50 to 100, but we're still below our 200. This will take time for the highest of time frames to play out. But for now, the daily, it's another big accomplishment, bullish accomplishment. Let me drink some of my wine here. For Bitcoin's price action. So we'll stick with the daily here. We'll just talk about a couple other indicators of note. EMA 12, EMA 26. These have been rock solid ever since this break here of March 4th. Both of these have worked in tandem. If the EMA 12 fails, the EMA 26 comes to the rescue. EMA 12 held. EMA 12 failed. EMA 26 came to the rescue. And now our price action is way above both of our near-term EMAs here. So any kind of a pullback, I will once again look for EMA 12 support, 5740s, to act as some sort of a port, as it's done on several circumstances. And the failure of that, EMA 2654, now that can happen at any point along the way here. But what's it going to take for the bears to say, all right, it's too much? We just broke above 6,000. We had several opportunities to put in lower highs, higher lows. We broke through all of those. Let's clean up the chart here. Clean up the charts. So a couple just notable support lines based on what was resistance turned support. We have a really strong area here from $5,500, rejection, big rejection, breakout, support, and advance. So 5,500 was rejected and then tested as support. It's going to be a very strong support region. We go down a little lower here. 5K-ish area. This is the daily here. We had several days closing below, several above, several right on it. And then the retest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days here of lower wicks that basically held support just above the 5K region, between 5K or, the 49s to as high as, 50 area there. So we have two strong areas of support here that have been tested for a time period, on the way up. And we found buyers here, we found buyers here, we found buyers here. So as we step higher, 5,500 is strong, but now are we talking about that, wow, like 57, 58? So we're just strengthening as Bitcoin's price action continues to rise higher here. I don't want to call this declining volume. This is very consistent volume here. If we negate this back-to-back towers of volume here, we basically have been pretty solid on our bullish days, on our bearish days. We're hitting a very consistent volume profile. This feels very healthy and very consistent. So I'm not seeing any divergences other than the fact that volume is steady, price is rising. We have hit 61, 69. So let's see what currently, from historical standpoints, is the big deal with, make this red, 61, was it 61, 61? Okay, so we'll go back here to our pretty lengthy history, right, of Bitcoin flirting with 6K support. And there's just a tremendous cluster, right, of history. Once we get above 6K, and we'll start this right at 6K, to where? I mean, you can go as high as $6,500, this Coinbase USD, because technically that did represent the last topping move, the last higher low, we had a low, we had a higher low, then we had a low, we had a lower high, and then we fell off here. So that area is the last higher low. And frankly, that's up to $6,500. Another potentially $300 before I'd say, wow, that is that should be a tremendous historical resistance area. And you see how close we are from it. So, but you're also seeing that there's nothing yet that's saying that the longs are ready to take off another 5% move in Bitcoin to kind of the top of that range. But, what else do we see here? So we talk about, too bearish, blood in the streets, right? You buy stock, blood in the charts, you buy crypto. There it was. But now we're really beginning to accelerate our parabola here. 26. And what I mean by that is our steady ascent has been steady, but now we're actually starting to accelerate our ascent here. And when we begin to do parabolas from a curve standpoint, let's make this nice. We can give deference the farther out we go, but there's a pretty definitive rule that it's almost like stairs. It needs to have the shape of the parabola with almost like a skateboard ramp, where you want it very tight at the very top, but it has to gradually incline and decline. And this holds, and I'm not touching the price action here just yet, because I'd be fine with this consolidating for several days, at least into the weekend, right? Let's hold above 6K for several days here. Why not? Let's find a support base now. And I still can't believe I'm saying it, right? Above 6K region. And the question is, do we get a FOMO wick above here? And listen, if you've been holding long and strong through this move here, are you content with any kind of price action above these areas of previous, support, and then, the basement floor just drops out to the subfloor here? So what are the longs going to do if Bitcoin's price action does achieve this area higher than where it is now, but right at the edge of where the market really fell off a cliff and really failed to find buyers, that late October of 2018? Maybe there's a little more room higher here, but not much. You have to ask yourself, what is the market prepared to do at that moment of time? Because for now, there's been nothing that's saying that the longs can't yet hold to that area there. And until we fail to keep putting in these higher lows and higher highs, then we have to assume that there is probably still potentially more upside until we really see what happens. And frankly, this topping pattern, it needs more volatility. There isn't enough volatility on this low time frame yet. Yet these aren't big ass wicks here. This is like not that crazy. We need to see like a 7% move in like a 4-hour chart to really change the dynamic of the market, and we're just not seeing that. The trickle up is really intact. Let's look at a couple just daily indicators, see kind of where we are here on the daily. This is the RSI. We have this very neat channel. It got a little clunky here. We actually put in this lower dip here, but the channel more or less remains. And if it keeps, we're somewhere right at that middle channel resistance. It's been resisted, it's been rejected, and then it's been broken through 1, 2, 3 times, and a fourth runner, you know, uh, would put something like like that into again. Well, no, let me redo that. Let's be accurate here. This is 100. So for the daily RSI to get crazy bullish one more time, it could only go that high. But wow, that's that last leg. We have not hit 100 on our daily RSI. At least not on Coinbase ever. We've gotten as high as 94. Actually, I'll keep that. And we're currently at 76. So we still have running room on a historic standpoint on our daily RSI. That's bullish. Our stochastic, once again, full end to end. That bottoming area there, double bottom, nice touch, and then boom. This thing has been riding high all of May. But there we are again, almost at the 100 area. But still, running room, and we tend to curve here. We've curved, and then a little boop. We could curve, and then a little boop, before we do a larger correction here. But for now, this is strong. And remember, just because we're in this zone here doesn't mean we immediately fall apart. This can be a strength zone for some time. MACD is just very strong. Now, there are two things I look for in the MACD. It's the spread of our indicators here. I try and keep a sense of how bullish we can be with a spread like this. Now we're something like this, okay? So we're getting close to an extreme that we've had prior, right? But, maybe we do a lower low here or a lower high. Start to kind of play around with how that interacts with that declining resistance zone. We also look at, we'll use that. Our histogram here, okay? It's still in a good uptrend here, but we also compare it to our last bearish histogram. And we're getting close to a similarity here of, we were this amount of bearish, equivalent of this amount bullish. Not always the case. We definitely have the extremes of our bullishness here. But every time we went bearish, little bearish, a little more bearish. Now we're going we're beginning our bullish ascent still, and it's strong. And we keep putting these higher highs on our histogram. And I wouldn't really think about this as crazy overdone until we go approach to our last area. So there's still potential of that running room, even if we put in that lower high in our mountaintop all around. OBB oscillator. What is this day, like 81 or something? 82. Oof. Oh, and this is interesting. So we were putting in these lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Uh-oh. Higher low. So we actually have a trend change here, and we actually have a strengthening OBV oscillator here with a higher low. And we're also seeing that in our on-balance volume itself, which is just, I was doing areas of stages here, but listen, this thing is just cranking. Running with the price action more bullishly. Horizontal resistance currently at the March 2018 levels. Wow. Back when Bitcoin was, that was after the 6K, pullback there. So that was Bitcoin about 9,000. So we're representing an OBV at a price action where Bitcoin was $3,000 higher than where it currently is now. Whew. All right, that was a rant there. Let's reset 20 minutes. Okay, so guys, hey, Big Chonas here. Remember to follow me on Twitter. Check out Bitcoin Live. Who's in the chat room tonight? 79 of my closest friends. Age 8 Prod XNS. What's going on, my old friend? Thanks for joining me. King Zulu. SS Swartz 88. Back from the packs. Tone Loke. DWK 8081. Oh, that's old classic music. Mr. Pabliosis. Let's see here. Oh man, thanks for the tip, my friend. Remember, guys, tips are always appreciated. Joshua McLean, Luke Nuss, my 2 cents. Bobby Crypto, hello, AD. Thanks guys for following me tonight. It's been a couple weeks since I've been live here on YouTube. Been just taking care of business. It's springtime here on the East Coast. I've been trying to spend a lot of time outside, work on the property, and a couple other projects I'm involved in right now. So I'm just happy to spend some time with you tonight. Remember to hit that thumbs up button. Appreciate your support here. Also hit that subscribe button as well. We're checking out Bitcoin's price action here. Let's go to the 3-day. I haven't looked at the 3-day in a while here. And for this here, I'm going to pull up a couple things here. Let's pull up my TD. Look at that. We had a 9 with a combo 13. Then we had a price flip with a green 2 above a green 1. I mean, this thing is still solid. Where are we in the cloud? So we are racing. We are racing here up into our cloud resistance. The 3-day represents the only time frame that is still in the cloud of resistance. The 2-day found initial resistance and has surpassed that. We also have a bullish Kumo twist here on the 2-day in a couple days here. The daily, very bullish here. We also, I didn't discuss it on the daily, but we're in that 9. We closed out with a 9. This is our pattern of consolidation, which is actually expansion. So we're bleeding 9 here. And I want to see what happens when we put in a combo like we did last time, which did mark a local top, $54.93, before we came all the way back down to $4,900. So that was almost a $550 dip in the price action there when we did hit that combo. And what's 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. So we're like a day maybe away from that if we hit it at all. Maybe 2 days away from that. So 3-day, listen, I mean, if we rage here, I'm not saying 7. I'm not going there that yet. But later into June, $6,500 does represent an area of resistance here, which would mean some sort of a consolidation through May above 6K, maybe back in the 5s here, retesting how strong $5,500 truly is. But this is still the most valid in terms of the highest time frame there. The weekly still a ways to go for a Tenkan Sen. A Kaijin Sen. Again, $6,500. So there's an interesting area of confluence there. Speaking about TD9s, look at the weekly here. We're on a 13. And what's more important here, wow, look at that. So we put on a 9 here back on July 9th of 2018, the week of. This is our weekly chart. And so that marked the bottom peak of a 9 candle. And that was 60.75. And today's price action, or this week's price action, I guess not right now's price action, has broken that area of resistance, because this was our previous bottoming 9, which created a very nice bounce here. We went from 6K to $8,400 there. And now we're above that area of support, turn resistance, turn support. Whew. And if we can close above this, That's the catch. There's always a catch. It's Thursday, people. We have 3 more days to close above 61.39. No, 61, 60, 79, 75, which would really be stupendous and tremendous because that would represent a break of that major support turn resistance now potentially back to support because of the breakthrough. Whew. Weekly RSI. So we're hitting, that's interesting. We're hitting an area, let's get rid of this for a little bit here. We're hitting an area of, our last area here before we fell off support, resistance at 70, and then, oh, that marked our top too. Look at that. So this marked our top area. Wow, it's interesting. This was right after Bitcoin's top. The pullback 17, January 1st was coming down to like 10, 12,000. And we are right back up there. And we did that so quickly. This is a major area of resistance in the RSI in the next 5 points of weekly RSI. This is major resistance. I have to make this red. This is historic resistance because it was not only support term resistance turns, yeah, support resistance, broken support, but it's also at the 70 area, which also coincides with our last area resistance. 5 points of death here on the weekly. Look at this here. It's also a very clean 5-wave pattern here as well, isn't it? On the weekly RSI. With an extension. Yep, the 382. So there's just a little bit more, maybe. Just a little more there. Quick check of the monthly. Look at that. Just amazing Maribozu candle on the current monthly chart. 9 days in, but, still early. What kind of candle is this going to end up on? Last month candle was so friggin' bullish with just a little wick. And now we have a green 3 above a green 2 above a green 1. So we did find that support on this 6-7 combo, and more importantly, this bullish engulfing of February's price action was really strong indicator there in the monthly chart that we had found a very solid bottom with a back-to-back, really triple, really quadruple, really 4 months in a row that $3,300 held. It's interesting. 4 months in a row that $3,300 was tested, held, and there was the acceleration. But listen, let's keep this in perspective, and I want to just kind of end this segment here with the bullish price action that we see here in Bitcoin. We are still in a bear market. What will define this as breaking of the bear market, in my opinion? Clean the board here. Okay. Our bear market, here was our top off. We pulled back. We had a very nice bounce. We gave it all up. We had a little bounce. We gave it all up. We had a little bounce. We gave it all up, and we fell. Now we're coming back all that to there. So to put in a higher low in this transition zone, I feel we really have to be around here. We really have to be in the 7s, the mid 7s. Let's make that neutral, something blue. Something that puts Bitcoin's price action above $7,500. Then we can start really saying, wow, the bear market could be over and we could be in a much more longer term bullish trend, of price action here. Obviously, we do have to get there. That's still a major move in price action. But what's important about what I'll be looking for next, no matter where we top off here, if this is it, if we go a little higher, 6,400, if we go all the way to the top of our last bullish monthly candle where it closed, which was at $7,500, the rejection of this move along the way, and where we do find our eventual support zone, wherever that may be, and then the bounce from that support zone is going to really be the true test, as if we are out of this bear market or not. And there's always the possibility that we can put in a lower low. Even after we bounce around a little bit, find some supports. Breakaway speed needs to be confirmed with unbreakable support. That's what I'm trying to say. Breakaway speed needs to be confronted with unbreakable support on the backtest of Bitcoin's price action. So however high we go, the reset, the bounce of the reset, the consolidation of such, and then the advance needs to be in a pattern that clearly says, wow, this market is in a solid uptrend until proven otherwise. Because we're still far from that, yes, this can be a chance where we don't, and we do reset, and we do go back to a lower low potential. So these are the things that we keep in mind, because we're not out of the woods yet. We've been in a bear market for over a year. How long have we been in a bear market? I mean, really, the bear market was the top. So a year and a half, 400, not a year and a half, a year and 14 months. So 14 months. And now we are 17 months from our all-time high. We are 17 months, 500 days from our previous Bitcoin all-time high. And we are still 68% off our all-time high as well. So everything's very, very relative. We are 68% off our all-time high, but we are also 95 and change percent above our local low, which is a tremendous move here of Bitcoin's price action. Almost 100% move, right? 100% move since our current local bottom. But we've done this before on our February of 2018 low to our high of our March, which was also 100% move. This one happened a lot quicker. There's obviously a lot more money flow in Bitcoin at the moment, at that time in the market. And the potential energy, the built up energy in the market itself was tremendous because of the move. So once again, we keep these things in perspective. There's a 100% move from the bottom. We're still 70% down from the top. We've done a 100% move in this bear market, only to not just give it up, but then to put in a lower low. Eventually, it took till June, but we put in a lower low. So we keep these things in perspective. We've done this before in this bear market. This one feels different. Yes, it's been drawn out. It's not a V bottom, right? It's more of a C bottom. Here was your V bottom. Here's your, male, female, however you want to call it. Spoon, shovel, I don't know. But even it's the percentages that are the same here. So different looking moves, different setups, different chart patterns, but the same thing is the same. Bitcoin at 6,000 to 12,000 is 100%. Bitcoin at 3,300, 3,100 to 6,200, just a hair under 100%. And I still reserve the right to feel that Bitcoin can definitely hit the untested areas in the 2000s. It's very possible. Although, as we get closer to the Bitcoin halving, which I'm not sure of the date. I think it's sometime in a little over a year from now. Not entirely sure, but it's as we get closer to it, um, wherever we are in the chart, the closer we get to it, the better chance that we've probably had found our bottom, no matter where that is at that time. So there's still a long time, I feel, of Bitcoin accumulation, still trying to find where it is. Um, but keeping things into perspective, that the price action, though very bullish right now, is careening into an area of major support that became major resistance when it failed to hold that support. All right. 30 minutes. All right. So a couple more things I want to go over. I've put a couple tweets out about Bitcoin longs, Bitcoin shorts, Bitcoin longs. Start with Bitcoin longs here. Let's keep it on a little bit of a higher time frame. Let's stick with the 3-day here. So Bitcoin longs have just been not really taking advantage of a lot of this move here, and I'm not entirely sure how long I can keep using the Bitfinex data on this. I'm kind of trying to figure out if there's a better longs versus shorts situation I can analyze because of the what's going on in just the whole thing with Tether and the arbitrage difference. It's closer now than it was. It was only a few $100s off now. It was almost $400. But it's just, I don't know the legitimacy of the data, is what I'm saying. But longs here really haven't taken advantage of this bullish boost here. A little under 19,000 Bitcoin. Shorts, though, have been loading into this bullishness of Bitcoin's price action vigorously, like just vigorously. And I mean, so many of these shorts must have been forced liquidated and then bought back in, kept tight stop losses and then just bought back in, or kept adding to their shorts and then bought back in on every time Bitcoin pumped. Um, we have a little pullback right now, but these are just loading into the bullish Bitcoin price action. I think that could be a major reason why Bitcoin has been as strong as it has. It's because the market isn't ready to pay these guys off. And why is Bitcoin rising so much? Is Tether buying Bitcoin? Are people just liquidating their Tether and buying Bitcoin in a slower approach than it did on that very quick one we had earlier in the year? Is that really? Is this some giant Tether exit scheme? Alts have been bleeding. I mean, I don't really want to look at any alts here. Like we talked about, the better market cap ones have held up a little better, but I mean everything else just bearishly diverging against Bitcoin, and the charts look like crap because Bitcoin, the money flowing into Bitcoin right now, we see it in the dominance, and we see it in the BTC ratios of most of the notable shittier coins. And what's going to happen when Bitcoin does pull back? The profit from that move could get pumped into altcoins. It's definitely possible. What has normally caused that is more of the stability areas of Bitcoin when it can run stable. for days and weeks, and allow those altcoins to kind of use that Bitcoin stability um, to run with it. But this breakout move here in Bitcoin has really pushed the alt market down, as Bitcoin's dominance has just been saying, hey man, this is where the money should be because Bitcoin is king. And cryptocurrency market cap keeps on reinforcing that. 58%. Let's see, did it change at all during the past 40 minutes? Nope, same. There's no reason yet for this rejection we just to take place just yet. What's the volatility doing? Oh yeah, real quickly look at Tether. I mean, Tether's just, I keep an eye on this here. If we start to lose our 1-to-1 ish ratio, remember what happened here in October? Okay, we're still at 99 cents on the dollar. Got as low as, what was this? This was into April here, 95 cents. So that was that dump there in Tether from the lawsuit, but it really has recovered a lot of that. Let's see if it can get back to parity though. That'll be a key test. Right back to parity. Boom. It's right there. That'll be interesting. Ooh, we're very close. This could be a key thing to watch if it can touch a dollar and if it gets rejected there. CME futures. Ooh, how many gaps do we have? Daily, clean, clean, clean. Gap there, clean. Gap there, filled. Filled. That's filled. That's filled with that candle. Ooh, that's close. So daily looks pretty solid. I know the 4-hour had a bunch. Anything recently? No, that's clean. That's clean. Yeah, all this recent price action should be pretty clean. That's ooh, that's clean. That's clean. I know there's still the one down the low 3Ks in the 1-hour, but the 4-hour looks pretty clean. Everything looks pretty clean here. The CME strong. This is always kind of a precursor here to see, because especially on the weekends, this is weekday price action. I mean, weekend volume is always a little sketchy. But man, this is just, it jumped. And just filled that gap right there, right there. So yeah, very clean on the 1-hour too. So it's a solid chart. I don't see any really major gaps here, and this would bring the top to 65 there, so a little bit higher, but still in the same area. I wanted to go check out where the heck was the, oh, there it is. So I always keep an eye on the volume here. This is BitMEX, MEX, BitMEX volume here. When this gets low, it has signaled pumps, bullish pumps, bearish pumps, but pumps nonetheless. So we have this descending line of pumpage here, and we may consolidate until we get to this line here. And if we keep dipping, maybe a little bounce here and there, but keep an eye on this descending line, because if we get back down here again and we haven't had a meaningful price action move, then touching this line could induce such price action. So keep note of that. All right, that should be a good one there. All right, so real quick check here on Bitcoin's price action as we wrap up the show, guys. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me. Oh, thank you. 2020, yes. Um, so yeah. Um, oh, 30, 40, 35, 90. Let's check that out. Let's check that out. 35.90. Thank you, Lukeness. 4 hour. The 4 hour. Aha. Yes, you were right. 35.70. Yeah, I have it marked here. 35.73. There was one at 39.29 there, but that was filled. Very good, sir. Okay, yeah, 35.73. There is still a 4 hour gap here, unfilled. And notice this wick here only got as low as 36.21, but the gap goes to 35.93. So yeah, there's a $28 gap in, no, more than that. 71 to, yeah, I guess it was just 71 to 99 there. So 91, yeah, about $28 there in the gap of price action there. So there you go. There is a gap in the 3Ks. And hey, all 4 hour gaps have been filled eventually in the CME futures. So keep that in mind here. All right, guys, we're only halfway through our 4 hour candle here as we've started a brand new day in the price action of Bitcoin. Still strong. Oh yeah, I'll do one quick thing here. Let's clean the chart up. Let's look at this from an Elliott wave just one more time here. Okay, so bullish option number 1. 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this has to be a 3, 4, 5. So we this gotta be 3 there, 4, 5. Let's say we're in fifth wave here and we're doing a fifth wave and we're in this tight. I'm not ready to call this an ending fifth wave diagonal just yet here, because this could still be a very long ass 3 with I mean, we've already, it would just make sense for this to end as 3 here with a 2-to-1 extension of 1, and then 4 find support at the 236, very bullish 236, and then we're in 5 here, which in itself, I mean, some sort of a crappy 4, 5. Maybe that's 3, 4, 5. I don't like this. I like something like that. I mean, yeah. I mean, it just feels like we're just getting to the end because of the resistance and the pattern. But you might see one more push, just a little bit higher. But it just feels like it's the end of this pattern. And then just overall, this has made a 2.238, 2.382. Oh, let's do that. Extension with the 2618 as high as 63.37. And a 2618 would be most ideal to get right in that golden ratio with a 2x expansion. That also corresponds with our historic, resistance. So we're right there. But as long as those shorts stay strong, man, I mean, what's it going to take to liquidate them? Is one more advance higher, and we are keeping the parabola. We are keeping the parabola intact, which means this last leg could definitely wick up if the volume is there with it. The question is, what does the market do when we get to that price action? and that'll be left for another day. So with that, guys, you're great hanging out with me tonight. Much appreciated your support here. Whew. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It was a good time hanging out with you guys tonight. Remember to follow me on Twitter. Remember to follow me on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. And listen, we will be in touch. You guys are great. Much appreciated. Talk to you soon. Big Jonas signing out. Peace.